Pork spare ribs with a garlic jalapeno rub. Here we go. Welcome back to Heat of the Drum. My name is Steve. Today we are doing pork spare ribs, and we're going to make a garlic jalapeno rub from scratch that's very simple and only uses 4 ingredients. Let's start with that rub. And what we're going to be using is 2 tablespoons of kosher salt, 2 tablespoons of granulated garlic, 1 tablespoon of coarse ground pepper, and 2 teaspoons of ground jalapeno. And I have that right here in this bowl. Let's get it mixed up. When you're done, it's going to look like that. And I'm going to put that in a shaker jar. Pretty windy out here today, so we'll see if we can get this in here. Works for me. Let's talk spare ribs. If you've ever had a St. Louis cut, then you've had spare ribs. If you've ever eaten rib tips, you've eaten spare ribs. So what I got here is basically a full spare rib that we're going to clean up just a little bit, take the membrane off the back, and then we're going to hit it with that rub and get it in that drum smoker. Here we go. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is flip these over and get a look at them. A little bit of excess fat here. I'm pulling this right off. It's coming off easy. One thing I'm going to do right away is come over here and just square this up. We're not doing any competition. We're in competition with ourselves. So these are going to be some good backyard ribs. So I'm just going to take that chunk right off there and just square that up. I'm also going to come in and just cut this right here. Just even this up. All right, let's get this membrane off. I'm just going to get in here with the back of a spoon and try to get under that membrane. And try to get my thumb in there and get it worked out. Sometimes it's good to have a paper towel handy in case you start losing your grip. You can just grab it and start peeling it off just like this. And you might not get it all in one shot. You might have to come back, which is fine. These are looking pretty good. I'll trim a little bit of this fat right here. All right, we got that stubborn membrane off of there. Let's season these things up. I'm gonna put my little trusty rack back in place here. This little chef snack, that's not gonna go to waste. That's going on the smoker too. Start with the bottom side. You could use any kind of binder you want. You could, a little mustard, a little water, Worcestershire, whatever you want to do. I'm keeping it simple today. I want to taste the rub, nothing else. And these are sticky enough that this should stick no problem. Here we go. making sure it sticks. It is 30 degrees out today, and it is windy. Trying to block the wind here, because I want a good coating on these things. And we can't forget this little snack right here. These are going back in the fridge for 1 hour. Let's get this drum fired up. And I got some Cowboy Oak and Hickory Blend Lump, Little Kingsford, and the same thing in my chimney. Today we're keeping it simple. We're going some applewood. My favorite part of the day. I always like to use some hot water. All right, it is time. It's been 1 hour. Now what I did is these spare ribs went back in the fridge for 45 minutes. And then the last about 15 minutes ago, I took them out and just set them on the counter. And let's get them on. And we ain't going to forget our little snack right there. All right, the ribs are on. Let's talk drum smoker temp. Looking for 240, give or take, right around in that range. Now what I'm going to do is let these smoke for 1 hour. At 1 hour, I'm going to come out and rotate them. I'll see you then. All right, it's been 1 hour. Let's get the lid off and rotate these things. Our first look. Let's spin these all the way around. And the lid back on. All right, so we got it rotated. We're going to give it 1 more hour. Then we're going to look at them again and kind of decide what's our game plan going to be. Real quick, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Help out the channel. In the meantime, I'll see you guys in 1 hour. All right, so at 1 hour, we rotated. At the 2 hour mark, I went ahead and looked at these and I decided, you know what? It's cool, it's windy and cold today. They need at least another hour. So we are at the 3 hour mark. We're going to get these off and get them wrapped. Let's get a temp on these. 160, 165, 162. That's right where we want to be. Let's get these off and get them wrapped. And look at those. Man, do those look good. And I am keeping it simple tonight, my friends. We're just going to add a little butter, and that's it. So what I'm going to do is just going to take 3 or 4 pads of butter. Just like that, kind of evenly space them out. Get them a little closer right there. And flip this guy right over on there. Woo-wee, look at that. I'm going to add some to the back. Working quick because it is cold out here. Just like that. Hopefully our foil is big enough to go around. It's going to be close. Very close. Looks like it just makes it. Oh, we got a hole right there. So I'm going to do real quick is grab me another piece of foil. And we'll put it over the top. There we go. Sometimes you got to do it. I need wider foil. Let's get this back on the smoker. Let's get our thermometer in here so we can kind of monitor this. All right, now we're just going to continue to monitor. We got our thermometer in there. And guys are interested in getting any kind of Thermal Pro products, check out my description. I still got a 20% discount code in there. So check that out. But yeah, we're just going to continue to monitor this. And once we get around 200 degrees, we're going to be checking on this. I'll see you then. We just hit 203. Let's get a look at these ribs. 201, 203. Ooh, this feels really good down here. Yeah, I think about 15 more minutes. It's been another 15 minutes. Let's get these off. Oh yeah. These are going to rest for at least 15, 20 minutes. All right, I'm excited. It's been 20 minutes. Let's get these out of this foil and get a look at them. Here we go. Woo-wee. Let me bring you in. Oh, they smell so good. Let's cut them. Oh man, are these juicy. These look amazing. And look how juicy that is, my friend. These are going to be some juicy ribs. Look at that. Pull it right off the bone. And I'll tell you what, them things are tender. They are juicy. Look at that. It's just all meat right there. You know what? These took about 4.5 to 5 hours to smoke. And I can do a rack of ribs in about 3.5 to 4 hours. Same method. It was really windy. It was really cold. I got to try out a new rub. And I tell you what, between the apple smoke and that garlic jalapeno rub, and just a little bit of butter when we wrapped, these things are so tender. Mmm. Until I see you again next time on Heat of the Drum. Now I got a rack of ribs to finish.